Alright, today we're going to look at a new twist on an old classic, and that is trying to get coconut on a parrot. Now, way back, the way you would achieve this was by using a very strange interaction with parrot and leech and seagull. I'll try and link those old videos in the description, but essentially the idea was that you could take advantage of the fact that parrot would copy a pet before all of the end turn actions were completed. So you could have a leech hit a parrot that had copied a gorilla. And the parrot would then gain coconut permanently. But then beyond that, you could, on subsequent turns, you could have the parrot copy a seagull. And then if a leech or some other pet managed to feint a unit in the shop that would summon something else, then the parrot would pass coconut onto that unit. Generally what people would do is they would put mushroom on a seagull, and then the seagull that came back would have coconut, and that would allow you to start putting coconut onto every unit on your squad. Well, these days those kinds of exploits or tricks aren't really required because we have access to stuff like Water of Youth, so we can put coconut onto a gorilla or a coconut crab and then just transform them into something else. But what I want to do here is try and actually get coconut onto the parrot without using either gorilla or leech. And the way we're going to achieve that is by using pink robin and coconut crab. So of course with coconut crab, you could gain permanent coconut and then transform, but you can't transform into a lower tier unit. So you're only ever able to get the other tier 6s. And in this particular instance, I would rather get a lower tier unit. And of course we can just have parrot copy any unit that we want once it has the coconut. So that's the simplest way to go about this. In previous attempts, I was trying to actually transform the parrot after getting the coconut, so I'll show some clips of that at the end. But yeah, once it became clear that was going to take an awful lot of effort, I decided to make things a bit easier on myself and just allow the parrot to copy something else. And there is the unit that we want to copy, the swordfish. This is definitely one of the classic strategies that people used to use, although generally what they would do is go for a 50-50 shop first, and then you could just bring in swordfish and they would all get coconut from the seagull, and therefore that kind of almost negates the swordfish ability. Of course, the coconut can get removed before the swordfish goes off. But in a lot of scenarios, it's just going to work perfectly where you KO something else on the opposing team, but your swordfish stays alive, or your parrot copying a swordfish stays alive because it has coconut. And with the introduction of coconut crab, we also now have multi-hit coconut. So you can just use the coconut ability to tank the first snipe from the swordfish, but then still retain coconut in order to try and clear the rest of their squad. So we've got almost all the pieces that we need here. We're missing one unit, which maybe you can guess what it's going to be. And we've got the pink robin at level 2, I think. Okay, we just get the pink robin at level 2 now. And there, the unit that we need shows up in the shop, even though we had 2 slots frozen, so very fortunate. We need the farmer crow. So farmer crow on pill will feed 3 corn cobs to the pet behind. So what we do here is pill the pink robin, the parrot copies the coconut crab in shop, and then we pill the farmer crow and we get the permanent triple coconut on the level 3 parrot. Now, parrot will not copy another unit in the same turn, so we can't put it behind the swordfish this turn because it's currently behaving as a coconut crab. But once we go back to the shop, it will reset and then we can change the order. So now we've got a level 3 swordfish, and level 3 swordfish does 300% damage, so 3 times 18 damage. In fact, I guess I'm just going to buy this cotton candy / candy floss in order to get 63 damage snipe from the Parrot that should also be blocked. Let's see if it works. And we actually end up facing Rev, going for this whale plus small one team. I believe this was a random pack. And I think we actually end up losing. Yeah, because our other units were so weak, they all got removed by this small one coming back. So I think, yeah, we're going to go for some chocolate from Flounder. Unfortunately here I don't get any stat food, so I'm going to have to lose the rice and gain seaweed or potato. But I still think it's worth it for the 2 chocolates. Yeah, we'll go for higher level swordfish to try and finish off any large units left behind by the Parrot. Does mean that we end up with seaweed at the back, which is kind of bizarre. But this is beautiful. Everyone complains about running into this bulldog plus crab team. But the crab gets one shot, and then the bulldog gets taken care of by the double coconut still remaining on the Parrot. Super satisfying round there. I sent that one to RevGT privately, just because I knew he would enjoy it. So I think here I'm not going to bother going for level 3 mantis shrimp. I'm just going to keep feeding the 2 swordfish. We probably don't really need much more stats onto the Parrot in terms of the swordfish damage, but of course it just becomes a big unit with double coconut afterwards. So the extra damage on the swordfish snipe there, you can see it does 75. And I guess also having higher attack means it would go, it should go first in a lot of situations. Here I think we're going to barely scrape a win, even though we instant killed their biggest unit for no loss on our side. Okay, I'm going to go for level 3 mantis shrimp. We could take churros here since it's the only thing available. Yeah, might as well just put it on the mantis. Yeah, probably makes more sense to put it on the mantis because we could be removing coconut or something on a front unit, which then gets instant killed by the Parrot. But I guess I decided I would rather just roll 3 times. Their biggest unit gets eliminated before it gets the chance to even generate any trumpets. So it's a super free win on turn 15. Parrot's still just an absolute MVP, even though it's only tier 4. So I think I'd take the swordfish level up. It wasn't really doing much damage before, but now luckily we get the mantis shrimp from the stoat cell, although we are on 9, so you'd hope that we would win here. And yeah, bizarrely, although we have the ultra powerful Parrot snipe, it manages to dig up this extremely low statted PDF team on turn 16. I could play for days and never see a team like that on turn 16, but of course we end up getting it when we would one-shot most behemoths. So here are a couple of other rounds where the same combo was in effect. So we've got 1 pill frozen here, and then we've also got the pill bug buy cell, and then we find the coconut crab. There were a few rounds where I actually ruined this by pilling in the wrong order, but in this particular one I actually have level 2 farmer crow, so I can activate the coconut crab at the same time as the Parrot. Now it is only level 2 Parrot at this stage, so we're not going to get the triple coconut. But not to worry, that doesn't really matter too much. My primary focus was just getting multi-hit coconut regardless of whether it was level 2 or 3. Then I decided to take cockatrice just for a bit of variety. And it is kind of funny to have Parrot with coconut copying other units. You can see how strong it can be here where it solos a ton of pets, but 1-up Phoenix at the back is going to be too much. I think there was a bit of lag going on in this particular session, so some of the, you can see the little loading animation popping up a few times there. We'll take the Parrot 1 step closer to level 3. Although that doesn't affect the coconut, it does still mean that we can copy a level 3 tier 6 ability. And then this team has a Kitsune hit the back that gets turned into a rock, which is pretty unfair, but actually I think they're still going to win, which I thought was pretty hilarious. I guess it shows how much I've kind of gambled in this particular game to get this setup going, that it really isn't that good, especially when you're copying a weak tier 6 like cockatrice. There is a cat in the shop here, but maybe I'll take it after I buy-sell the second cow. Or maybe not. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to bother. We could also just copy Rockhopper. That would probably be a better option. Yeah, level 3 Rockhopper is what, 36 trumpets or something? So just by spending 3 gold there, we almost get 50-50 trumpets. Are we going to be okay here? Yeah, I think we should be. Yeah, so 48 trumpets for 3 gold. Pretty good deal if you ask me. Although we barely scraped the win there. I guess the team is pretty far behind in terms of scaling. It's just the Parrot and 4 hangers on. So it would be nice to protect the Rockhopper because, of course, its ability won't go off if it gets sniped. Pretzel, yeah, maybe I should have just taken the chocolate, but Pretzel's only going to give +2/2 since we have a sea urchin. And then here's Suboptimal. So Monkey at the back gets turned into a rock. In fact, and I think actually this team was in yesterday's video as well. Yeah, the 50-50 doggo I think is going to be good enough. Yeah, we just scraped the tie. I didn't think I won against that team, so that makes a lot of sense. And we're just going to keep pumping stats into the Parrot. Not really anything that I can see. Obviously just rolling down looking for something more interesting and not finding it. Maybe I should have considered the contents of the pack a bit more carefully before I started playing. And then we get matched with opposing cockatrice, which turns the Rockhopper into a rock. Both teams have rocks on them. But of course the Parrot's going to block a lot of damage. And this time the Retriever does get the victory. So yeah, slightly, not quite exactly what I was going for, but that was a victory nonetheless. And then here's another one. Exact same situation where we find a pill bug in shop. So we can use that to set up the in-shop Parrot copy. And this time it is level 3, so we are going to get the triple coconut. And then I think, yeah, I just end up taking another Farmer Crow to activate the coconut crab again. Now this looks like a free-to-play opponent, and they have that hippo with fortune cookie, which you don't see very often. It looks initially like the Parrot just doesn't have enough stats here, but the triple coconut is so clutch. And then the coconut crab gets coconut as well in order to knock out their last couple of units. So now I think I'm just looking for Water of Youth, because this was probably still at the point where I was trying to transform the Parrot into something else instead of just copying another unit. And we can't use Competo because I was trying to get another tier 4, so it really has to be Water of Youth. I think I'm just going to end up taking Winter Spirit. You could actually have Pink Robin make Parrot copy Winter Spirit in shop to get some quote-unquote permanent mana, although of course it's going to degrade every start of turn. But yeah, probably not really worth it, and certainly way worse than having triple coconut, that's for sure. So I guess I'm just rolling down here looking for the Water of Youth, which we're not finding. The rest of our team is looking pretty ropey other than the Parrot and the Eagle. So I really want to get this thing transformed before we have to go much further into the end game. This time the Leopard does actually hit the coconut, but I think we still have enough hits. Yeah, we just had enough attack there to knock out the Peacock. So that actually puts us on 9 quite early on in the game. And at this point, I think I was worried that I was never going to find the Water of Youth because, yeah. But then here we go, we find it, and I was almost about to pass it up. Maybe because I thought I was going to end up losing as a result. But we get Seagull. So 1 in 9, I guess it would be, to get a Seagull there, which is incredibly lucky. And I think, unfortunately, the shop isn't the greatest, so I end up taking the puppy instead of the rock hopper to get the toilet paper and give us the best chance of a victory. And look at this team. Paka has jellyfish plus triple caterpillar, but the last caterpillar hasn't reached level 3 yet. Actually, would we have lost if that was level 3 caterpillar? I think we probably would have. So maybe lucky there to face that squad on turn 14 and not one turn later.